From folklore and fairies
to monsters and mysteries, it came from the Maritimes.
Hi everyone, welcome to It Came From The Maritimes, an Atlantic Canada folklore podcast. I'm Chelsea, and say hello to my co-host Evan.
Howdy.
We have a Maritime mini for you today. This is releasing 1 week before Halloween, so we chose a spooky one for you. Our story takes place on Halloween night over a century ago in the mid-1800s. At the time, Halloween was called the Night of the Long Moon, and it has long been considered a night that the veil was thinner and spirits, maybe even the devil himself, walked among us. On October 31st, a young girl named Marie Macdonald from Parrsboro was eagerly awaiting the return of her love Rory from a long sea voyage. She was ecstatic when the ship pulled into port, desperate to have Rory safe in her arms again. Marie waited and waited while others left the ship, but she didn't see her love disembark. Finally, the captain reluctantly approached her. He begrudgingly told the girl that her love had met a woman at the last port, and he chose to stay there and start a new life instead of returning home. Marie was absolutely heartbroken at the news. She knew there was a possibility that she might lose her love to the rugged seas, but she never thought she would lose him to another woman. She started walking home as the first snow of the year started to fall. It wasn't uncommon for there to be snow on Halloween night back in the day. I even remember when Evan and I were growing up, we would have to pull our costume on over a winter jacket. I was actually quite cranky one year because I went as the Little Mermaid, and I was forced to put a fleece sweater on under my purple seashell top. It ruined the aesthetic.
It really would. I mean, I think I was dressed as Flounder that year to be an accessory to your costume.
Evan was often an accessory to my Halloween costumes. Princess and the Frog. One year I wanted to be a flower and I wanted him to be a ladybug. That one didn't fly, but we had a few good ones. Now back to the story. Back in the 1800s, there were many tricks circulating that one could use as a way to reveal the identity of their true love. Marie was so convinced that her one and only was Rory that she decided to try them. When she got home, she ate salt fish, hoping that Rory would visit her in a dream with a glass of cold water. A true sign that someone loves you.
Of course.
Unfortunately, her afternoon nap was dreamless. She peeled an apple and threw the peel over her shoulder, which was supposed to spell out the name of her true love, but it was to no avail. After these failed attempts, Marie had a visit from a friend and was forced to share her sad news. In an effort to cheer Marie up, her friend told her a legend she had heard about how to find out who one's true love is. She told Marie to take her hand mirror to the river and walk backwards along the shore. After a few steps, she would see her true love in the reflection. Marie was so desperate that even in the snowy weather, she decided to try it. She went to the river, but the snow had made the embankment slippery, so she decided to perform the spell by walking along the bridge, figuring it was close enough to the shore that it would work. She opened her mirror and started carefully walking backwards along the Mill Creek Bridge in Parrsboro. Marie saw a blurry image appear in the mirror and was thrilled at the prospect of finding out who her true love would be. She was quickly petrified when she saw not the face of a handsome young man, but something far worse. It was the face of the devil himself. He grinned from ear to ear and the mirror cracked in two. She was so scared that she screamed and turned to run, but she was so disoriented from walking backwards that she ran right off the edge of the bridge in fright, screaming as she plunged into the icy waters below. Marie's body was never found. You see, the tide had started going out, so her body was dragged into the Atlantic Ocean. Her friends and family sadly suspected that she had jumped off the bridge in distress at the loss of her love. They never learned the truth of her demise. Ever since then, on Halloween night, especially those late October nights when we have an early snowfall, if you listen closely when you're in the Parrsboro area, you'll hear Marie's terrified shriek, the ear-splitting scream of a young person whose body might have perished, but whose spirit remains eternal.
Jeez, that's quite the story.
It certainly is.
Honestly, when you hear the name the Screecher's Hollow, I was expecting it more to be like a banshee or something, but this is just really, really sad story.
It is. I'm full of them this month.
You're gonna leave October depressed for us.
But with so many folklore tales, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of It Came From The Maritimes. You can find us on social media, on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at It Came From The Maritimes, on X at ICFT Maritimes. And if you have any Atlantic Canada folklore you would like to see covered in future episodes or spooky encounters of your own, email us at itcamefromthemaritimes@gmail.com. If you enjoy our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. It helps people find us. Thank you for listening.
Bye.